everyone, welcome to another edition of Easy Eats for Everyone. Before we get started, please remember, pull up your hair, wash your hands for at least 20 seconds, and if you can't social distance, grab that mask. We'll see you in just a moment. Today we're going to be making that yummy comfort food, homemade tomato soup. It's a few simple ingredients and a few utensils that you need to make this. We're going to start our recipe off. You can either use vegetable stock or chicken stock. We have a homemade vegetable stock here that we made with celery, carrots, and onion, a little salt and pepper, and water. You're going to use 30 ounces of that. We have a heavy cream. You'll use 1 cup of that. Diced tomatoes, and you want to use a slotted spoon to make sure that you pull the tomatoes out, get nice good chunks. 28 ounces of those. We're going to use about 2 tablespoons of tomato paste and a little bit of salt and pepper. And if you want to get this a little extra zip, you could also throw in some fresh basil. As far as ingredients that you use, this is it. For your utensils, you're going to need a large pot with a lid. You're going to use a spatula, measuring cups, of course that slotted spoon, and something called an immersion blender, which goes right into the pot. If you do not have an immersion blender, that's okay. You can put this in a regular blender and kind of get it nice and creamy that way as well. Lastly, we're going to serve this today with a yummy garlic and butter crostini, but of course you can do everyone's favorite grilled cheese. So before we get started, a couple safety points. First of all, remember to always have your pot holders or oven mitts. We're going to actually use 3 because we're going to want a 3rd one to put the pot on afterwards. We're going to turn our stove on high heat, and then we're going to add in our vegetable stock. Again, 30 ounces right into the pot. Be careful when pouring, making sure that you're not putting yourself in a position where things can splash on you. That becomes especially important when we're adding in our tomatoes. We're going to always pour away from ourselves because we don't want anything to splash up and hit. We're going to put this right in. Give this a little bit of a mix. And we're going to bring this to a boil. It will take about 8 to 10 minutes. So we'll see you in just a moment. While we're waiting for our tomatoes and stock to come to a boil, a quick note on how to make this yummy crostini. Again, a lot of people eat grilled cheese with their tomato soup. It's always a super fun way to do it. You get the creamy cheese, the crunch of the bread, the yummy flavors of the tomato soup. But we're going to do something a little bit different. We use French bread that we're going to coat in this mixture of melted butter and garlic powder. We're going to put it on both sides, and then we're going to put this on what we have here, which is called a flat top. But not everyone has a flat top in their home. Most people don't. You can actually put this right on a baking sheet and put it in your oven at 375 degrees. Just check it. It takes about 10 minutes. You'll want to flip it about 5 minutes in. Or you can even put this in a pan on your stove top. And basically you just want this to get nice and golden brown and crunchy so that when you dip it in your soup, you get that nice crunch and bite. So now our soup has come to a boil. We're going to first add in a few pinches of salt and pepper. It equals to be about a teaspoon to a teaspoon and a half. We're just going to sprinkle that right in. We're also going to add about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. You don't have to be exact with this. This is not baking. We're cooking, so you can add to what you like. And we're just going to mix that right in there. What the tomato paste is going to do is it's going to add a thickness and a nice darkening color to this. And lastly, 1 cup of heavy cream. Pour that right in. And you're going to see a nice color change with this as well. That nice creamy color, almost orange, not red. And then we're going to actually bring this down. You're going to switch your heat to medium heat instead of that high heat. You want this to simmer for 15 minutes. So make sure you set your timer for 15 minutes and we'll see you then. So it's been 15 minutes. Our soup has cooked down to a beautiful, beautiful, nice dark orange We have our crostini done here, which of course is going to be that crisp bread that we use on the flat top, the oven, or even on the stove top. Before we even do anything at all, of course, we're going to turn off the top. Never pull anything off the stove until you've turned it off. And make sure you let people know in your house that this is a hot surface. Using our pot holders, we're going to actually move over to a different table. Just as a reminder again, make sure your other hot pad is down and ready to go, and you let anyone know around you that you're moving with a hot item. So I have a hot item, I'm turning around, and I'm walking over here, putting it again on our hot pad. I'm still going to keep one of these in my hand to hold on to the handles because I don't want to burn myself. When using an immersion blender, you're going to notice that there's these little feet and a sharp blade. The feet actually can go right in the bottom of the pot that you're going to be blending. And what will happen is when you turn on the blender, it's going to pull things down and help blend. So we're going to place this at the center of this hot pot. And we're going to turn it on. And we're going to just blend. And this is pulling all those tomatoes, and if we had basil in here, right down. Our soup is getting a beautiful frothy texture. Another important safety factor is to make sure that you let go of the button that you're holding down before you pull this up. If this is on, and you pull it up in the pot while you're blending, you're going to really burn yourself or someone around you. Just going to blend. Again, you could put this in a regular household blender. If you're doing that, I would let it cool down for a few minutes first. But an immersion blender is something that's awesome to have in your house for soups, sauces, and milkshakes. We're going to do this a couple more minutes. We'll see you in just a moment. We have finished blending our soup, and now it's this yummy, creamy texture. Before removing your immersion blender, please again let people know that you're going to have something that's sharp and now that's hot on the countertop. You're going to make sure it's completely off, pull it straight up, and you're going to put it down on a flat surface until this can cool a little bit before taking it apart and washing it. Again, sharp blades, and now this metal is hot, so let it cool and just let people know around you, hey, there's something here that you shouldn't use. You can also unplug it from whatever outlet you have it in so that it does not turn on by mistake if someone walks by. Next, we're going to scoop our soup right into a bowl. And as you can see, it's turned this beautiful orange color. It's nice and creamy, has a great texture to it. And of course, you can serve it with your crostini. Dip that right in. So good. A nice comfort food. And again, one of the beautiful things about soup is you can make a large quantity of it, portion it, freeze it, and have it anytime you're ready. For any questions, please of course visit us at our Easy Eats email or tune in for our next video. Don't forget, with Easy Eats, cooking should be easy and fun for everyone.